Hello and welcome to Who Watches Who, a Doctor Who podcast with me, Matthew, and as always, I am joined with...
Hello, it's Scott, and we got so much to talk about, and by so much I mean nothing. There's no news.
Yeah, it is, to the surprise of nobody, because I'm pretty sure I predicted this 3 weeks ago. This is a quiet month, all February. February? Yeah, sure, fuck it, February. In terms of Doctor Who news this month, we are still in the void between episodes, which is where we spend most of our time with Doctor Who. We mostly spend our time between episodes going, God, I wish there was some Doctor Who. And then it comes and it goes, and we're disappointed when it is here.
Yeah, we're coming up to our 3-year anniversary of Doctor Who, and we've only had 9 new episodes, I think, since then, or something like that. Probably 13 actually, but still nothing.
Yeah, it's like a whole series. Yeah, it's like a whole series worth. But we are opening up our news with a really gripping story, this is a story that'll get you to the edge of your seat and get you tuned in with a reveal of a new poster. Wow. It says your Time Lord transporting, reality warping, dimension distorting, universe saving, wormhole evading, nothing is probable, anything is possible, time and relative dimension and space, cosmic joyride awaits, which of course stands for TARDIS Cosmic Joy, which is everybody's favorite ship. It's a cool looking poster, I'll give it that. It looks kind of fun. It's cosmic-y and groovy. I have nothing else to say about this poster though.
I don't like why the bottom line is misaligned to the whole thing. It looks just out of place.
Oh yeah, you're right. Fucking throw it in the bin. Throw it in the bin. Throw it in the bin. Fuck that. Throw it in the bin.
It's a
Hope
nice.
Someone got fired.
It's a nice looking poster, but it's just a poster. I think this is for Galifrey Con, which was just the weekend that passed, and people were handed these posters, and also it's official merchandise, and you can kind of tell that we're trying to appeal to a Disney kind of demographic here, because it's very quirky, I would say. It's selling itself as a quirky sci-fi show.
It's big 2012 Tumblr Doctor Who vibes.
Oh god. We just need Supernatural to come back and Sherlock to come back. I mean, we could cover those two things on this podcast, and we could just be Super Who-lock.
It will never escape the pass. But we also have got some slightly more interesting news if you're somebody like me that cares more about writing than they do about posters. With the BBC Writers is now part of the Whoniverse. Head over to the sparkly new Whoniverse section in our script library to find over 200 scripts from across the Whoniverse. We'll be posting more about what we've added, so why not get over there and start exploring for yourself. That's from the BBC Writers Room on X.com. So they basically just went back and added every Modern Who script.
Yes, that includes
there?
all the official spin-offs as well, like Sarah Jane and Torchwood. It even includes, apparently, Ncuti Gatwa's edition script, like the 8-page edition script that I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but that should be fun to look into. This is one of the things that Russell T Davies really pushes. The accessibility of behind-the-scenes information and how to write writers' scripts and all that, because there's not really that much educational sense in, it's hard to find the education to learn these kinds of things, There's not that much information that's available publicly for small kids.
I mean, the TV and film industry they've kind of got a magician's code sort of thing, where it's don't tell nobody nothing, okay? You got to figure it out for yourself, and if you figure it out enough, maybe we'll let you into our gang, but probably not, because you need to be someone's nephew.
It's a fun time, but just between this and all the bonus features and all these box sets and the Confidential coming back and all this behind the scenes information that's being opened up is really nice to see.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It is. It's cool. It's some really useful resources as well. I'm sure if you're like a film or TV student and you're looking into scripting and how to script things, like BBC Writers Room, this will help you with your assessments and having to come up with a script and stuff like that. I know when I was at college, I would have fucking loved to have access to all of these Doctor Who scripts.
And you know,
it would have been cool.
This is worth paying the license fee for. Stuff like this, where you could just go online and get your own like private education almost. You know, that's the one thing that Russell T Davies is really pushing here. Like, this is because of the license fee. No other business in the UK would do this openly like this, you know? It's really cool.
You know, BBC is that's why I agree with this, because, you know, the BBC is publicly owned, so anything they produce should be available to the public in every aspect, you know? You should see how it is made. We also, talking about scripts, there's been a slight little reveal in one of those scripts. This is from Doctor Who Production News on Twitter, X.com. Though already surmised by anyone observant, Russell T Davies makes it no secret that we are going to see a lot more of Susan Twist's character, Mrs. Merridew / Susan Triad, over the course of the 2024 Doctor Who series, and this is the excerpt that they included. Woman in the crowd, a woman we've seen as Mrs. Merridew in Special 2, a woman we'll see a lot more of, yells, "Give it some welly," which is interesting. This was a character that you pointed out to me when we were talking about an episode recently, and I was like, I have no fucking idea who that is, because I don't watch Doctor Who, I just pretend that I have. But, you know, it's interesting. We'll see Russell's doing more of his foreshadowing thing that he loved to do with, like, Bad Wolf and shit like that. But I guess this time slightly more subtle, but not really, because it's, like, the same actor, but I didn't notice.
Yes, I definitely did not notice either, like... And even when we talked about last month, we were like, it's probably just reusing the same actor, not as the same character, you know. It's just give her a little bit of an extra job, you know. I don't know, but turns out, it's more of a wait and see reveal. Same with Mrs. Flood. I wonder if there's any connection here. Probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah. We shall see indeed. Something to be excited for. The seeds have been planted. Let's see them grow. We also, if you've made it this far somehow into this like really empty news episode, why not hit subscribe? Because clearly there's something wrong with you. To catch more episodes, we release them every Friday at 8 a.m. UK time. We usually cover like Doctor Who episodes in depth at the end of the month, like this one. We covered the news that's been going around, so it's a good place. Why not join in, hit subscribe, hit like if you're watching us on YouTube. We are also available in the audio space. I'll say more about it at the end of the episode, but we've also got Mandip Gill news. Woo! Doctor Who's Mandip Gill reveals she messaged the new companion Verada Sethu. Of course, this is the companion that is going to be replacing Millie Gibson, and that still hasn't been announced as the companion. There's still no official announcement, is there? But Mandip Gill is messaging her.
It just makes me think right now that it must be some kind of contractual thing. Like, you cannot reveal that this actress is leaving before her first proper episode in the new series. So... it's really awkward all around, because it's basically, it's not even an open secret, because it's not even secret at this point. Like, you know what I mean?
It's just knowledge. Yeah, it's just public knowledge. There's also a mistake in this Radio Times article, and I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna see if you notice what the mistake is. Verada Sethu is stepping into the role of Doctor Who's next companion, taking over from Millie Gibson in 2025 when Doctor Who's 15th season airs. While not much is known about her character or how she ends up dressed in 1950s American clothing, it has been confirmed that Sethu is the new Doctor Who companion, and former companion Mandip Gill has shared some words of wisdom with the star. Did you catch the mistake in that?
No. What's the mistake?
when Doctor Who's 15th season airs. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the second series of Doctor Who in 2025, not the 15th. I don't know where Radio Times thinks they get their news from, but they are mistaken. I have actually a message for Rada, says Amanda Gill. Just a general enjoy it because it goes so fast and it's what I wanted to hear. She added, there's no actual advice, but I'm sure she's going to be absolutely amazing. But yeah, really enjoy it because time does fly when you're having fun. Which is, kind of a nothing message, but cool. It's nice that she reached out. Good guy, Madam Gill. Sure, why not? Seems like a nice person.
The only reason I added this story was just have the conversation about the fact that we still haven't got official word from the BBC, and that's all this is revealing here. It's kind of insane that companions are even texting each other now, being like, "Oh, good luck," It's like, what's going on?
Yeah,
it's really strange.
It is a weird space that we're in right now. And speaking of weird spaces, Doctor Who magazine issue 600 came out, and of course that includes Russell T Davis's letter where he talks about the next 2 seasons and how complete each episode is. And you've written here series 14, series 15. What is this bullshit? It's just series 1, series 2. Have you never seen the show before? It's just starting. Series 1 this year, not series 14. Jesus.
Okay, my mistake.
Series 1, episode 1 is 95% complete with some VFX shots and score left to finish. Episode 2, called The Devil's Chord, is 75% complete, doesn't have a score, and the VFX need a full render. Episode 3 is 90% complete. He saw the final effects before Christmas, and he says that it's gorgeous. Episode 4 is 100% complete and could go on air right now. Episode 5 is 99% complete with more effect shots than anything ever, which is a bold statement. Episode 6 is 80% complete and needs a score still. Episode 7 and 8 is a 2-part series final, which is 60% complete. Christmas special is all shot, needs tiny tweaks and special effects. Meanwhile, over on Series 2, Episode 1 is 99% shot, needs to film the opening scene, which has got none of the regular cast. Episode 2 is on draft 4 of the script, and Russell T Davis says, I am particularly excited about this episode because it does things we could never have done in the old days, and there's a great guest star who's been in Doctor Who before in a different role. It's Peter Capaldi. Episode 3 is on draft 3 of the script. At the time of writing is 6 days away from shooting. Episode 4 is completely shot. Episode 5, the script is on draft 5 with the director on board working out how the hell we shoot this. Episode 6 is on draft 9. Getting the script ready has been epic for reasons that will fill many pages of Doctor Who magazine someday. Episode 7 is still waiting, with episode 8 to be written soon. So this is a really good look into how insane making TV on this scale is. Like, you are all over the place.
Yeah.
Keeping track of everything and arcs and stories and what's done and what isn't must be a fucking nightmare. Like you're writing episodes for series 2, like 7 and 8, while you've already shot episode 4 and you're still writing episode 2, Meanwhile, you've still got series 1 that's not even out yet and is like kind of done but not really. It's my god, all over the place.
Oh, I can't imagine cooking these many things at once and trying to keep process of all 17 items.
Just juggling constantly, yeah.
It's kind of insane, but I'm glad that, again, Russell T Davis shares a lot about his work process and what's going on in the show. Perhaps overselling it slightly by saying, more special effects shots, more special effects shots than anything ever, or saying it's the best thing that Doctor Who's ever done.
Didn't they say the same about Wild Blue Yonder?
Yeah,
they're like, this is the most effects that we've ever done, and it's the best looking effects ever. And it was like, they look good.
Yeah, we're definitely overselling it, but it's part of our job. It's part of the marketing, and it's kind of cool what part of the marketing here is oh, it's a behind the scenes process of what's happening. That's cool marketing.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. We shall see. I am curious to see if, and I know that he can because like he is a talented writer, but it's not like we weren't slightly disappointed or had slight issues with the 60th anniversary and the Christmas special. So I am curious to see if if like Russell can write at this scale and maintain quality. You know, that, like, you're doing so much. Surely something is going to not be as good as it possibly could be. Surely something is going to get not as many eyes on as it should, or something's going to get overlooked. Or maybe it's all going to be perfect. Maybe I'm just being a big fucking doomer about this whole thing. Maybe it's going to be the best fucking TV I've ever seen in my life. It's really too early to tell, but I am cautious with just the insane amount of workload he's doing. But it is cool. It is cool.
I'm excited, I'm excited. Even though, there's the problem with the lack of room for any course correction, as we've talked about before.
Yeah,
that's the big concern here, because he's probably planning series 3 right now, because obviously this letter was written just after Christmas, I would have to imagine. Like, he's probably planning series 3. And, that documentary he did, Imagine Russell T Davies, he's like, I've got plans for stuff that's going to happen in 2027. And it's like, holy shit, dude. How?
Yeah, and what if it's bad? What if everybody's like, this is bad, though? What if your idea isn't good? Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, it's just confidence, I guess. That's like the key to 90% of success, is just having confidence in your own idea. So we shall see. We'll definitely be covering it when it eventually happens. 2027 feels like a lifetime away, but I bet you it's going to happen like tomorrow. We also have got a new rival. Oh my god, a Doctor Who podcast. A new Doctor Who audio drama podcast is coming in March 2024. Classic Doctor Who audio dramas will be brought to a new audience with Into the TARDIS, a new podcast from Big Finish Productions. Coming in March 2024, this weekly podcast will present stories in episodic installments released weekly on Saturdays, like the original serialized broadcast of classic Doctor Who stories on the BBC. Since 1999, Big Finish Productions have been producing full-cast audio adventures. We know all this stuff. To mark 25 years of this output, Big Finish Productions, in association with BBC Studios' Zebralution podcast, Apple and Acast, are excited to announce Into the TARDIS, which will showcase fan-favorite stories from the Big Finish's back catalogue. The stories will be presented in episodic installments, released weekly on Saturdays. Each episode will feature a brand new introduction read by Colin Baker, as well as behind-the-scenes interviews. Sorry, this article repeats itself like 3 times in a row, so I'm trying to just scan my eyes over it. It will begin in March 2024, as we've said many times already, with the first 2 episodes serializing Death and the Queen, originally released by Big Finish in 2016. This full-cast audio drama stars David Tennant, Catherine Tate, with a script by James Goss. Big Finish chairman Jason Hay Ellery said, as part of the celebration making 25 years of Big Finish Doctor Who audio drama productions, that's a mouthful, I am delighted to announce that Big Finish are partnering with BBC Studios, again, stuff I've already said, the first officially licensed Doctor Who audio drama podcast. This is an initiative that we have brought working on for some time, and I am particularly excited about it, as it will bring Big Finish's work to far wider audiences. John Patterson, director of audiobooks at BBC Studios, said, for many years now, Big Finish has provided Doctor Who fans with thrilling audio dramas, and we're excited to see them extend their offering with a podcast. Into the TARDIS will allow the fan base to extend their enjoyment of the show, as well as open the Doctor Who audio drama world up to a new audience. I think this is a great idea. Yep. I think that this is a fantastic idea, because like every time, and we'll do it again this week when we go over the Big Finish releases, we're like, God, there's too many releases, they're too expensive, it's impossible to keep up with all this shit. How do Big Finish do it? How does anybody listen to all this stuff at the same time, etc., etc., etc.? With a weekly episodic podcast releasing these audio dramas they've already made that are from, 2016 backwards, if not maybe a little bit forwards as well, that they're making probably no money on. Stick a couple adverts on that. Boom, you've got yourself making money on it again. It's a great idea, and it's probably something I'm going to attempt to keep up with when it eventually comes out,
This is certainly more appealing than we're just about to talk about the 6 upcoming box sets that's out next month, and which one do I buy? Which one sounds more appealing? Which one's in my budget? Whereas it's much easier to keep up with a weekly release. I haven't listened in like 4 weeks. I only have 4 episodes to catch up on.
I think it's also a lot easier to listen to an episode because presumably it will be curated episodes and they'll release them in the correct order if it's a multi-part story, and you're not like listening like, oh, this was a cool episode. What do you mean it's part 17 of a 3,000 episode story that's been going on for 20 years? What?
And also the great thing is it's only half an hour a week, which sounds, some people might say, oh, that's not enough free content, blah, blah, blah. But I'm happy with half an hour a week.
That seems, that's doable for me. That is doable for me.
And, there's also a load of free Big Finish stories available on Spotify as well. Maybe, I'm not sure if that contract is going to run out. I don't know if it's even a contract or whatever, but we'll see if it still continues to have free episodes on Spotify. Hopefully, yes, because there's still a lot I want to listen to that's available on Spotify right now. But we'll see. Great idea for anyone who wants to get their big toes into the pool of Big Finish, because there's too much Big Finish. Again, 25 years. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot of content that they can put out for like free and make money on, because no one's buying random box sets from 20 years ago, But speaking of really good ideas, here's another really good idea that Big Finish have had with the Dark Galifrey. When Time Lords go bad, fear the worst. An epic new 24-part full cast audio drama event from the worlds of Doctor Who begins in April 2024 with Dark Galifrey. This gives me really big Time Lord Victorious / Doomsday vibes, where it's something that they're like, it's the biggest thing ever, it's so connected and you need to follow it, it's the coolest story ever, and it's like no one's gonna keep up with it. At least this isn't like it's told across like comics and books and audio and like it's all just audio dramas. But anyway, I'll continue reading a bit. When things turn dark and you're all alone, there is one traveler of time and space, a wanderer in the 4th dimension, a renegade Time Lord who will always be there to bring back the light. But the thing about Time Lords, they can't all be heroes. Big Finish Productions presents Dark Galifrey, a brand new series showcasing the most chaotic, mischievous, and evil Time Lords the planet has ever produced. Morbius, the War Master, Missy, and the Master, so 3 of those are just the same character, will each take turns to feature in their own 3-part story. Oh my god. Series producer Rob Valentine said, Dark Galifrey is a sprawling multi-story event in which all of the most dastardly Time Lords are being let out of the box in various unexpected ways, and they're all just the Master. Some stories are very dark, others are wickedly funny, some are absolutely insane. Expect a rogues gallery of Gallifrey's most diabolical villains all taking to the stage. Their stories are wildly different, scripted by some of Big Finish's most acclaimed writers, and behind it all, something massive is brewing. The Worlds of Doctor Who Dark Galifrey will be released monthly, with the first 2 trilogies materializing between April and September. 2 more trilogies will follow per year until the final release in 2027. Each part of Dark Galifrey is now available for pre-order. Big Finish listeners also pre-order a year's worth of, there's also like a competition or whatever. Yeah, this sounds like something I'm not going to listen to at all. And I don't know, it's just more Big Finish doing stuff, isn't it,
Yeah, they really haven't sold this well enough there's obviously more villains coming in. There's probably going to be Omega and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
to only have 4 of your 8 villains announced, and 3 of them are the
And
Master,
them are the Master.
who already have.
It's so
spin-offs.
dark. It's so dark and edgy. It's cool.
Like the War Master, Missy, and the Movie Master already have their own spin-offs, and there's
Yeah,
no
but not like this. Not as dark and edgy as this.
And they're not even selling a story here or how these are connected to what is Dark Galifrey. There's no answers here. I imagine it's going to come later on, but you kind of need to tell. You need to give us answers right now, because I'm just not sold on it. And you hear the announcement, and you're not going to necessarily going to follow what the next announcement is going to be about the box set, because who cares at this point? Like, it's
the one benefit that this has got is I'm gonna take that Dark Universe promo picture and stick the Master's head on it for the thumbnail. So at least there's a thumbnail for this episode used,
And yeah, they just basically say there's something massive is brewing behind the scenes, which just reminds me of their attempt at doing the 60th anniversary monthly box set last year, which is mainly just normal stories with each Doctor, but occasionally they'll be like, oh, there's a diamond in the sky and there's a man watching me, and that's just like takes up 1 minute of each story. I don't even know what the point is. It just sounds so pointless.
But maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be the greatest thing ever. But I doubt it.
If I hear good things, I'll check it out. But I imagine it will be mixed. I imagine the reviews will be mixed. So there's probably no point.
Yeah, probably. We also have got some hip video game news for all us hip video game guys. Fortnite's Doctor Who event have been debunked, as Russell T. Davies replies online. It looks like the TARDIS won't materialize on the Fortnite island after all, says Radio Times. Is Doctor Who coming to Fortnite? It's a question that's been asked time and time again across the internet for some reason, with endless rumors, supposed leaks and theories as to why the beloved BBC sci-fi show is expected to show up in the biggest video game on the planet. Fortnite continuously celebrates with pop culture brands such like Star Wars, TMNT, Stranger Things, so why is Doctor Who any different? Rumors of the Time Lord popping up in Fortnite have been making the rounds since early last year, including the likes of what the skins, weapons, sprays, and more could look like, so there is a lot to wade through. We have some concrete details too, with the showrunner of Doctor Who providing some details as to whether it's actually happening or not. This is... Hang on, there's just a fucking advert that's popped up. This is a lot of writing for people that are like giving, like, it's all like Photoshop fan-made stuff of like, this is what it could look like if Fortnite would add Doctor Who did a crossover. It would be so cool. But of course, Russell T. Davies replied to a comment on Instagram, somebody asking, what information could you share about the Doctor Who and Fortnite collaboration? To there isn't one. It's a complete myth, I'm afraid, which is why I'm really glad there is a 3,000 word article written about it on the Radio Times for that one comment. So yeah, Fortnite Doctor Who not happening. It's not like... It would be cool if it did happen. And we covered many moons ago unofficial Fortnite Doctor Who crossover that the BBC did when they just like made a Doctor Who level in Fortnite or something. But there's no official crossover happening apparently, so sorry to all you Doctor Who Fortnite bros out there who are desperate to play. Like there is a lot, like you could get every Doctor as a skin. You could make a lot of money out of it. But you know, I guess Doctor Who's not quite as big yet to get a crossover as Eminem. He had a crossover with Fortnite recently, so yeah.
I would imagine a lot of this is Russell T. Davies going, the Doctor Who brand just does not fit Fortnite at all. Like I can't imagine playing as the 10th Doctor and shooting other people in the face.
An AK. Bah, 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 bah.
I can't imagine playing as like Susan from the classic series and just shooting people in the face. The brand doesn't fit, honestly, unless we do like a special level where it's people against Daleks and you're shooting Daleks and Cybermen or something. I don't know.
I think you can get the Doctor holding a gun in Fortnite and it still being fine, because I mean it's just a video game at the end of the day, so it's just like, this is just a bit of goofy fun. Like I've played Fortnite every now and then with my little brother, who's like 14. My skin is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, it completely makes zero sense for Obi-Wan Kenobi to be running around with like a machine gun shooting fucking Peter Griffin in the face. But Fortnite is like insane, so it wouldn't feel out of place to see the 10th Doctor or the 4th Doctor or any Doctor to just be running around also doing battle royales and whatever the fuck, racing or whatever, it would be cool. And I think it's something that they should probably work towards as well, because they're trying to catch that younger audience again, and kids play Fortnite. And if the kids are playing Fortnite and they're like, oh, what's this skin, Doctor Who, what's that? Oh, it's on Disney Plus, I'll watch that. That's how kids talk. That's it feels like a good opportunity to try and work towards.
I'll be honest, I really don't understand how the fuck Fortnite works. Like, occasionally I'll just see Fortnite
It's
clips.
like an everything game.
Yeah, I'll occasionally just see Fortnite clips of, like, Rick from Rick and Morty dancing in front of a Martin Luther King speech. Like, why? What is going on? Why is there a Martin Luther King memorial service? Makes no sense.
Yeah. It's a fun game. I like playing it. I understand why it's popular. It's not really like my go-to like type of game, because I'm a big fan of like RPGs and single player experiences and things like that. But I do have fun whenever I've played it. I have had fun, so I can't deny that like there is something there that's fun to do.
I played it for like 15 minutes once. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, and then I uninstalled it. The only way I would ever go back into the game is if Doctor Who is in it. I would play it for this channel. We would become pro Fortnite players.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games that's more fun if you're playing with people than it is just sitting by yourself. But it's like an okay time. But let's move into the final section of this very short news episode as we look at upcoming releases for the month of March. And we are starting with a audio original book or drama. Is this a book? This looks like a book. Yes, it's a book. Doctor Who River of Death. Nicola Byron reads a brand new original adventure for the 6th Doctor and Perry. A visit to the Grand Canyon begins with a disaster for the Doctor and Perry when the TARDIS plunges into a ravine. The traveller's only hope is to descend into the valley on foot, then track the course of the Colorado River. Their perilous journey is fraught with danger even before they encounter a band of 19th century explorers led by Major John Wesley Powell. Joining the watery expedition, the Doctor and Perry begin to despair of ever seeing the TARDIS again. As food supplies dwindle, so do the group's options. This is a journey which some of them will never return. Nicola Bryant, who played Perry in the BBC TV series, reads John Peel's stirring historical tale of human endeavour and American pioneers. Seems like a fun book I'll never listen to, but cool.
Yeah, not my type of Doctor Who story. I'm not a big fan on the
historical stuff, yeah.
But yeah, it just sounds like a story that the Doctor Who characters have been plumped into. There's nothing interesting to me.
Yeah, it's like I had this historical story written, but the only way I'm getting it sold is if I add the Doctor.
The next one we have is also from Penguin Publishing. This is Doctor Who, The Phaser Aliens and Other Stories. This collects outlandish stories from the vintage pages of Doctor Who Annual brought to life by a host of Doctor Who voices. The Fishmen of Kandalinja takes the first Doctor to a planet of water, and a rematch with the alien Vord, first encountered on Marinus. The planet of Bones sees the second Doctor, Ben and Polly, enjoying hospitality on the planet Harmony until a dreadful secret is uncovered. And there's a million other stories. The third Doctor and Joe, the fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane, the fifth Doctor, the sixth Doctor, basically all the classic Doctors apart from the seventh Doctor by the looks of it. Maureen O'Brien, Anarchy Wills, Tim Trelawney, Mina Anwar, and a bunch of other people read these fabulous tales, first published in book form between 1965 and 1984, which is insane. Are you interested in this?
No, but that's gonna be that's gonna be the my recurring answer for basically all of these releases. That's, you know, I'm not really that interested in Doctor Who books in general, but that being said, this next Doctor Who book coming up has got one of the best looking fucking covers I've ever seen for a Doctor Who book. Holy shit. Doctor Who The White Dragon. The White Dragon is the highly anticipated next chapter of the 13th Doctor's comic strip adventures. The full color stories have been taken from the official Doctor Who magazine, now in its fourth decade of publication. So it's like a collection from the Doctor Who comics. So like I'm not going to care about the contents of this book at all, because I don't care about the Doctor Who comics and I really don't like their art style. But this cover, which I'm going to put up on screen, is phenomenal. This should be a poster. This is one of the best Doctor Who covers I have ever seen. It's incredible. Like,
yeah, that's a fun cover, but that's really it. That's something I would look at if it was on the bookshelf, you know? It's so unusual.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh shit, that looks cool.
But yeah, again, it's just something I'm not interested in. And it is funny, it's called The White Dragon, because just a little peek for next month, we are covering Dragonfire, and it is the Year of the Dragon also. It's a lot of dragons going on at the moment.
Also, Year of the Dragon is also the same year I was born in, the Year of the Dragon. So
Nobody
this is
cares.
my year.
Nobody cares.
This is the year of me.
Nobody cares.
The year of me. Moving on now to Big Finish's March releases with Doctor Who The Fourth Doctor Adventures Series 13 Storm of the Sea Devils. See, it's titles like this that make me not want to listen to Big Finish audio dramas. So this is a two-part story with Storm of the Sea Devils by David K. Burns. Jesus Christ, hang on. This is two stories, with the first story being Storm of the Sea Devils by David K. Burns, which is a four-part story, and the second story, Worlds Beyond by Robert Kahn and Tom Salinsky, which is a two-part story. That's a lot of story about the Sea Devils. That's a lot of Sea Devils to... devil about with in the sea. I
mean,
I'm not super interested in this, but
it's better than the original Sea Devil story, which was 6 parts. At least you only have to deal with them for 4 parts here.
Yeah, and it's like it's a relatively generic looking Big Finish cover. I like the use of color in it, orange and green, very cool. And the Tom Baker stuff looks all right. How long? Unless they've already done it. I think they've probably done it in little parts. But how long do you think it's going to be until Big Finish start AI generating their photos of the classic Doctors? Because they just, get some new stuff.
Just this weekend at Galifrey Con, I believe there was an announcement that they wouldn't partake in AI generated images or scripts. And everybody applauded really loudly, apparently. So let's hope that's true, and we never incorporate AI, because
I think it'll be true for the next 5 years until it becomes way more cost effective for them to use AI for their covers. Do you want to take this next one?
Yes, we have Doctor Who Classic Doctors New Monsters 4 Broken
Classic
Memories.
Yeah,
It's a really short title, really rolls off the tongue. This is 4 new adventures featuring classic Doctors encountering monsters from the new series of Doctor Who. We have the first one is called Invasion of the Body Stealers by Jonathan Morris, which is the 4th Doctor story, and he's against the Harmony Shoal. I do
Sure.
not remember this creature from the new series, so... The second story is The Queen of Clocks by Jacqueline Rayner. This is a Sixth Doctor and Mel story, and it's got the clockwork droids from The Girl in the Fireplace. The third story is The Silent Priest by David K. Barnes, which is the Eighth Doctor against a priest. Okay.
Cool. About time those priest Scott was coming to them.
The fourth one is The Silent City by David K. Barnes, which is the Seventh Doctor story, and I believe it must be The Silence, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, probably.
So the third story and the fourth story seem to be linked, so I imagine they're both about The Silence. The Eighth Doctor one is a prequel sequel because it's the Doctor apparently being here before, but I guess it's a prequel to the Seventh Doctor story. Timey-wimey nonsense, but are you interested in this box set?
No, I'm not. The Harmony Shoal is like a big blue brain guy. I recognize, googling it, I recognize the villain. It's like the people that can like split their face in half. I don't know what episode it's from, but I do recognize the makeup.
Right.
Which cool, I guess.
It really shows you. It just shows you that the new series haven't created that many iconic characters for them to be reaching the bottom of the barrel at this point of the series.
Yeah.
It's only been 4 box sets. They're from the Husbands of River Song, and I do not remember them at all.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I mean they're not really like they're not the forefront of that episode really,
Yeah.
you know, in the Husbands of River Song. So that's understandable. The next box set is Doctor Who: The 12th Doctor Chronicles Volume 3. You Only Die Twice. Great.
that's
Who,
a lot of numbers. So you have 3.
It's a lot of numbers.
3 and then 2.
Add two, yeah. Agent Who. When the Time Agency faces its greatest threat, Kira Sandstrom, knows there's only one man for the job, but saving the universe is one thing. Keeping Agent Doctor in line is a far more impossible mission. This is 3 stories. Sunstrike by Georgia Cook. Never the End Is by Ben Teds, and You Only Die Twice by Theo Trethaway. Which is fine. I guess this is some like secret agent, James Bond, Doctor Who inspired stories. The cover is this like cybernetic sort of purple mess. But it looks kind of cool. It's your classic Big Finish. Let's have just some floating heads around some space stuff.
We have
but
one
hey,
of
it's
the
a Capaldi
Fum
story, so
we have one of the Fum monsters from the Spy Kids franchise. Yeah, I love the description of the last episode. You only die twice. This time it's personal.
This time it's personal. Yeah, it's really not generic at all sounding.
But yeah, this is obviously Jacob Dudman, and I believe he's the same guy who does a really good impression of the 11th Doctor. He just finished his 11th Doctor run, and he's also the guy who does the 10th Doctor really well. So he's really collecting all these new Who Doctors.
Yeah. But hey,
Yes.
you know, I'm sure it'll be fine to good, probably.
Yes, this next one is the 81st Torchwood monthly release called Tube Strike. Building work on the London Underground has disturbed a nest of weevils. The ravenous creatures are hunting for flesh. Can Torchwood 1 contain the feast? And that's not really, that sounds generic. There's no twist to it. It's just a generic story. Which I'm sure is fine. It's got Yanto in it. Yanto is good. But
Yeah.
Tortured is just one of those it's just one of those series that just kind of keeps spinning. There's no point to them. Or you can't even have Captain Jack back, and yeah, it just I'm not interested. Sorry.
Gotta make them Them quotas. The next one we have got is Doctor Who, The Sixth Doctor Adventures, The Quinn Dilemma. To celebrate 40 years of wandering through time and space in style, the Sixth Doctor and some of his best friends are about to find themselves in the adventure of his lives. This is 6 stories. The Exaltation by Jacqueline Reiner, Escape from Holy Island by Chris Chapman, Sibling Rivalry by Robert Valentine, Children of the Revolution by Robert Valentine, The Thousand-Year Thaw by Chris Chapman, and The Firstborn by Jacqueline Reiner. So, I don't really know what this story is about. As far as I can tell, it's like every version of the Sixth Doctor doing stuff. The cover's very cool, where you get to see Colin Baker in like various different outfits spread across the page, and there's like a fucking dinosaur in armor there as well. Cool stuff.
But yeah, I guess it's just a collection of short stories that maybe link. And there's also it comes with a bonus audiobook, The Memory Eaters, which is kind of cool. It's 7 stories in one for almost £20. It's not too bad. I'm not interested, sorry.
I look forward to listening to it on the weekly podcast in 6 years' time.
Yeah. And keeping in theme with the Sixth Doctor, we have Doctor Who, Sontarans versus Rutans, Born to Die, and this is a blue suit. Colin Baker here.
I like his suit. I do like his suit. It is a snazzy suit.
So the war between the Sontarans and the Rutans have been going on for millennia, and it's likely to continue for millennia more. A terrible conflict with no care for consequences or collateral damage. Billions have died with no end in sight. Its reach can encompass ancient Ireland and a forest world in the far future. Encounters with Unit and the Doctor no more. From the outside, these battles may seem disconnected, but sometimes there is a common thread. An unpicking that could destroy everything. When a trip to the planet Taxodon goes wrong, the Doctor finds himself with mere hours, to prove himself innocent of murdering a Sontaran. As more die, the Doctor and Charlie need to uncover the cause and why the Sontarans are even on this planet, if they have time. I hear this series is going well. It's one of those monthly series, so it's kind of anthology, but they connect, and it sounds interesting. I think I might pick this series up. The companion, by the way, is really cool concept where she first appeared in the 8th Doctor series, and she was a companion to the 8th Doctor, and then she went home for a bit, and then she's like, holy shit, the Doctor's back. And it turns out it's Colin Baker. So now she's 6th Doctor companion. She's done it backwards, which is kind of cool concept.
That is cool. Yeah, that is cool. That is very cool, actually. But that's all the Big Finish releases for the month of March. I don't think I'm really interested in any of them, personally speaking, but if any of them stood out to you, I mean, feel free to go and listen to them. I'm probably most excited for the podcast that's releasing in March as well, and I'm definitely going to try and keep up to date with that. I think that's going to be a worthwhile time. But that does bring us to the end of our news podcast. Thank you very much if, for whatever reason, you've made it this far into the episode. If you have and you haven't already subscribed, why not think about doing that? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on YouTube. It really helps us out. And if you're listening in the audio realm, why not hit the follow button and leave us a review as well? We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, anywhere you can listen to your podcast. And of course, we are available in video form on our YouTube page, Who Watches Who, a Doctor Who podcast, where you can see us every Friday at 8 a.m. Next week, we have got some exciting stuff as we are starting off the month looking at Dragonfire, all 3 parts. It's going to be a really long fucking episode. So look forward to that one. It's probably going to be our longest episode in a short while, because most of our episodes tend to be between 90 minutes and 2 hours. I can see this one maybe being longer than that. We shall see. It's a fun little story. It's not great. It's not great.
We've started covering it. We've only done 1 episode, and so far the final run time of the first episode is probably like an hour and a half. So it's gonna be close to 3 hours, I imagine.
we're going big into the Dragonfire. So look forward to that. And then following on from that, throughout the rest of March, we will be covering the War Games story, which is not a story I have ever seen and know very little about. So for me, it's going to be my first time experiencing it. Scott, I'm sure you've already seen this story.
Yes, it's the second Doctor's final story, and we're covering it throughout March and April because it's a big 10-part epic.
God damn, yeah, we are. Jesus, it's like big bulk of this year is War Games. So yeah, look forward to that. That's pretty exciting. Until then, we will see you next week. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you very, very much, and goodbye.
Bye.